Just before we get going with this Blockheads episode, I appreciate you, and I really thank you for watching my videos. And to give something back, I've thought of something. The subscriber shoutout. Welcome to this week's subscriber shoutout, and today's candidate is Mr. Henny Boykes Bukes. I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry, dude. But he came up with that idea, and I thought it would be great. Just somebody to shout out every now and then from our community to have something for me to give back to you, because I'm happy when you enjoy my content and I'm always up for productive criticism and stuff, but I feel like I have to give something back for that support. So this is just something little I can do each and every week maybe to shout somebody out. So let's get cracking with this episode, shall we? Hello everyone, my name is Toertl and welcome to today's Minecraft video. We are back on the Blockhead server and today we are working on our base a little bit. It's been overdue and I've been avoiding my base a little bit just because I wanted to start raiding people's vault, which we kinda did in the last episode, not very successful though. Ooh, it's raining, love it. I kinda got distracted there, but come on, this is too much fun. Look at how fast we're going. And I also had school going completely mad with me in the last week before the holidays, because right now I have 2 weeks of holidays before my A-level exams actually start. And after the holidays we have about, I believe, a month of preparation time. So the first circle is now all in place, and basically I have done all the work. Because from now on there only needs to be stone slab, or whatever we decide to fill in otherwise, filled in between all of this area. But let me tell you, I am, as you know, I've mentioned it quite a few times, not the best in math. And circle building is kind of complicated, So I got it wrong 2 or 3 times on 2 or 3 different occasions. This is now a perfect circle though. This is now everything correctly built. I fiddled around with designs for 4 hours, I believe, at least. And that resulted in a fairly unsuccessful time lapse. And I just stopped halfway through because I knew I wouldn't get anywhere with just continuing, plus having the pressure of being on a time lapse. So you kind of have to get something done before the file gets too big for your computer to process. So I just stopped recording and I fiddled around with ideas and I came up with this. So I made these struts stretch a little further. I think this is looking way better. And it doesn't force the tower to be thinner than it needs to be. And then I came up with the design over here, where we have kind of two layers divided by one of those circles from cyan terracotta. And that's going to be repeated up here, but another circle inwards. Like we have another one. This is currently a diameter of 50 blocks. And then we'll have another circle on top of this layer with a diameter of 40 blocks. Again, 2 stories, each 15 blocks high, plus one of those circles in the middle. And then on top we can have these struts continue on and just kind of reach for the sky a little bit. I imagine that's gonna look cool. So we then have the main tower structure complete at least. Then we have to detail the thing, get all of the stone slabs inside of these areas, get all of the windows in. I'm thinking I will either go for cyan glass or light blue glass or light gray glass. But I'm kind of gravitating to either actually dark gray, light gray. I mean, I'm not sure yet. One of the 3 glasses. This is a pretty big project, but I think it's gonna look very cool once we have built up everything. And this already looks pretty huge, and I like it. I like what we have. It could be better. I'm not sold on this design 1000%, but I think it's looking decent. And in my original design, I had these power generators, I called them, on this walkway right here. I still want to build them. They look absolutely fantastic, and they fit the futuristic style of the tower so well. But I don't want to build them on this walkway, because that would make things look a lot more busy than they have to be. That would look very forced. It would look out of place, and I wouldn't be happy with that. So these are going to be on the diagonals, but outwards by like 10 blocks, just so we don't have too busy of an area. Maybe actually 30 blocks. And then we can have these outer islands just with miscellaneous farms and redstone contraptions, maybe just encased eventually also in nice buildings. Yeah, I think this area is gonna look very, very cool. But for now, I think I'll just use my evening to kind of finish up this design, build it all the way to the top where I want it to be, because I got my hands on a few resources again. For example, from Bearded Charles' shop, he had cyan terracotta for sale, which I didn't put anywhere. I remember it. God, you gotta love my organization. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have been super productive over the last few days. Look at this. Now, it doesn't look like that much, but this are about 7 shulker boxes worth of white concrete and 2.5 of cyan terracotta. I gotta say, I have a pretty good feeling about this build now, because I know what the outline of my tower is going to look like. Because before I've built all of this up, I just wasn't quite sure how I'm going to build this thing, and now I'm on path to figuring it out. Let's just say that. I'm not 100% happy with how this is looking, because as you can see, if we just swiftly make our way right here, it looks a bit weird that this is like angled and then it just straightens for some reason. And that's because I poorly planned out how the bottom or the first floors look in relation to the upper floors. And that just ties back to myself being an otomoron and not preparing my base correctly. But I gotta say, it still looks pretty okay, I think. It looks futuristic and like a tower. So, well, I think I managed to pull something off here. But of course, this is still looking very floaty. And to kind of counteract this area, I thought it would be maybe a good idea to build up 4 struts or 4 big pillars on each end in front of each circle that kind of hold up this disc and hold up the entire tower eventually. And once we have those in, we can then work on the power generators just outside the diagonals. And once we have those in, we can surround our farms and the concrete converter with fancy buildings. But before that, we also have to make the floors and all the ceilings in this thing. We also have to make a nicer looking top, because it's looking okay, but I want to maybe expand those out a little bit and kind of go somewhere with this build. And we also have to get all the glass in. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I think we've made some decent progress for now. And as you can see, I've also temporarily put Buttercup in my base. She's waiting here to be delivered to Wolf. So that's something that I will do today in between episodes. I'm planning on chatting with a friend in a few hours, so that's just something you can do in that time. So for now, while I'm recording, I think I might do even more base work. I don't know how I'm not sick of this tower yet, because I've been working with it for so long the last few days. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I kind of want to keep up the pace and kind of continue with this build. So we get actually everything done before the season ends, and way before the season ends, so we can actually enjoy this build as our base and not just as something that we have never finished. And today I have apparently chosen masochism because, well, I've chosen so many painful blocks to place. Glass panes? I mean, they're called pane for a reason. And then also slabs. Have you ever placed slabs in massive quantities? About every second one is going to be misplaced. Especially with how fast I have my mouse set. I mean, for some people it might be ridiculous, but I currently am on a Logitech 520 Hero, I believe it's called. And I'm happy with the speed of this mouse, but only because I have it set to the absolute maximum. Both on the computer and also manually on the mouse. I can't live with computer mice that are too slow. It's ridiculous. If someone else tries to work with my PCs and my computer mice, then, or my computer mouse, they always have so many problems just keeping the mouse straight. I don't even move my entire hand when I'm moving my mouse around. It's literally just my thumb that is wiggling a little bit on the side of the mouse to make all of my movements. That's how fast my mouth is. My mouse. And when I am on other people's PCs, I'm always exaggerating. And I was saying like, oh, you have to drag the entire mouse over the mouse pad twice to go from one edge of the desktop to the other. That's just how it feels for me. Of course, it's a bit exaggerated, but still, it's just can't land. It's just too slow. While I'm doing this, I might as well talk a little bit more about base plans, because I have some things worked out for the interior. So down there, I thought it would be smart to have villager trading, being crop farms, a villager breeder, and potentially a minecart to take them from the breeder either to the trading hall we're going to build up in another level, or also, well, the crop farm. I hope that down there in one of these quarters with the walkway, the indoor balcony, that there's still enough space to put one of those villager crop farms. To be honest, I don't think there is. But I have to join an old single-player world of mine, my first survival world, because in that world I built up one of those Logical Geek Boy designs for the crop farms, and that's exactly what I want in here. Now I have to see if it would fit, and this way we can actually fit about 2 or 3 crop farms plus a villager breeder in here, and that is decent. Do. Glass panes. Whoa, that's a lot of glass panes. I'm not gonna use this many, but hey, if I should need them, I have them. And I still have to decide on whether I want to use dark gray, light gray, cyan, or light blue glass for the upper levels. I can't figure out what I want. I know I don't want white glass, because that's what we already have going on in the bottom levels. Last time I looked at it, I was like, okay, dark gray, definitely. But now it's the next day, and I'm not too sure again. I think I'll have to, again, fly over to one of those islands and have a look, have a real good look at my base, and think about what would work and what would not. Now, the more I look at it, the less I like the idea of blue or cyan. So I think light gray glass it is. I think light gray glass is actually gonna be the one. I thought we had some, but apparently not. So what I might do, before I construct a flower farm of some sort, let's head over to the shopping district and see if we can buy just a little bit of either light gray glass or some light gray dye. This is just why I almost never use this tunnel. This is why I always fly over the top right there. You know what, in fact, this is probably faster than dealing with the magma cubes. This is probably even faster. For anyone wondering, this is how I get to my base, and yes, I do have to make that tunnel spawn-proof. So, let's get some of the glass in and see how it looks. What in the world was that? I just had a loud bang. I believe someone just kind of ran against the radiator or something. That's at least where it came from. Oh, God, goodness me. Land! That's more like it. Both of the stone slab circles are now in. You can see one right there. And one right there. And we still have a little bit left. So my calculations were about right. We needed a little bit less up here. I feel for this episode we have done a lot of work. We've made a lot of progress. We decided on the entire design for the upper floors. We've decided on the windows. We've decided on how we want this tower to look roughly. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. I hope you like the design as much as I do. But enough rambling about. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'm gonna say goodbye from the top of my storage system because I can. So see you in the next one. Goodbye.